The summer air in Willow Grove, Florida, clung to the skin like a damp blanket, heavy and still over the quiet, tree-lined streets. This suburban haven, carved from an old forest, was known for its ancient oaks, their branches weaving a green canopy overhead. But among some residents, it was infamous for the iron grip of Eleanor Hart, the HOA treasurer who ruled with a smile that never reached her icy gray eyes. Eleanor didn't see the HOA bylaws as neighborly guidelines. To her, they were weapons sharp and precise for control and power. Her corner lot was a fortress of clipped hedges and rigid flower beds, every petal in line like soldiers on parade, stark contrast to the cozy, lived-in homes around her. A few doors down on Maple Lane, in a sunny yellow house with a wildflower garden spilling over the edges, 5-year-old Lily Brooks was lost in her own world. Her bright teal walker, plastered with glittery dolphin and star stickers, was her trusty rocket ship. Lily had cerebral palsy, which weakened her legs, but her spirit was fierce, her giggle a melody that could coax squirrels from the oaks. That walker wasn't just metal and wheels. It was her ticket to freedom, letting her wobble through life with a stubborn grace. Her mom, Sarah Mitchell, a freelance illustrator, watched from the porch swing, her heart swelling as Lily narrated a daring mission to find a cosmic gem hidden in their garden. Eleanor had already clashed with Sarah over that walker. Months ago, she tried to ban it, claiming it was an eyesore cluttering the street, citing some obscure HOA rule she dug up. Sarah's brother, a lawyer, sent a blistering letter, and Eleanor backed off, but her resentment simmered. She saw Lily's walker and Lily herself as a blemish on her perfect Willow Grove. That summer, Eleanor was on edge. Her husband's bad investments had drained their SAVYNGS, and the modest HOA stipend she clung to felt like a lifeline. She was also pushing a murky neighborhood beautification fund, dodging questions about its budget with a venom that raised eyebrows. One sticky afternoon, as cicadas droned, Eleanor patrolled Maple Lane, her sharp eyes hunting for Floss's stray weed, an unapproved lawn ornament. Her gaze locked on Lily, playing near an ancient oak that straddled the property line, its branches dipping into Eleanor's pristine side yard. Lily's walker was inches from Eleanor's prize camellias. She hadn't touched them, but to Eleanor, it was an invasion. Her face twisted with irritation. Kids, in her mind, were chaos incarnate, and this kid, with her clunky teal contraption, was a personal insult. "Hey, you!" Eleanor's voice sliced through the humid air, sharp and brittle. "Get that thing away from my plants now." Lily froze, her small hands gripping the walker's handles. Her brown eyes widened, fear flickering as she met Eleanor's scowl. "I didn't touch them, Mrs. Hart," she stammered, her voice barely a whisper. Sarah, catching a harsh tone, stood, her mom instincts flaring. "Mrs. Hart, is something wrong?" she called, stepping off the porch. Eleanor ignored Sarah, her eyes fixed on Lily's walker. A cruel idea sparked, fueled by stress and spite. "Kids like you never learn," she sneered. "You need to respect property." In a flash, she lunged not at Lily, but at the walker. With a vicious yank, she tore it from Lily's grasp. "No!" Lily cried, her balance collapsing without the walker's support. She crumpled to the grass, a frightened sob escaping her lips. Sarah sprinted across the lawn, shouting, "What are you doing?" Eleanor, with surprising strength, hoisted the walker and hooked it onto a low oak branch, where it dangled like a taunt. "If you want it, climb for it," she jeered. "A little effort won't kill you." Lily, sprawled on the grass, sobbed hysterically, her scraped knee bleeding, her world shattered. That walker was her legs, her rocket ship, and now it hung out of reach, a mocking symbol of her helplessness. Sarah dropped to her knees, pulling Lily into her arms. "Are you okay, sweetie? Oh God, are you hurt?" Lily just pointed at the tree. Choking out, she took it, "Mommy." Sarah's eyes blazed as she saw Eleanor standing smugly by the oak. "How dare you?" she screamed. "How could you do this to a child?" Eleanor sniffed, unfazed. "It was on my property. Besides, a little challenge builds character." Teach her to keep her junk where it belongs. Sarah's rage was a wildfire, but she knew calling the cops might be slow, and Eleanor would twist the story. Then she remembered her brother, Nathan Mitchell, the assistant state police commissioner. Clutching Lily, Sarah fumbled for her phone, her hands shaking as she dialed Nathan. He was in a tense budget meeting at state police headquarters, surrounded by spreadsheets and stern faces. His phone buzzed Sarah's name on the screen. His gut twisted. She never called during work unless it was dire. Excusing himself, he stepped into the hall. "Sarah, what's wrong?" Her voice was a sob. "Nathan, it's Lily. That awful woman, Eleanor Hart, took her walker and hung it in a tree." Lily fell. "She's hurt and terrified." Nathan's blood ran cold, then boiled. Lily, his goddaughter, his brave little niece. He knew Eleanor's name from Sarah's complaints about HOA nonsense. But this was beyond petty, it was monstrous. "I'm coming," he growled. "Stay with Lily. Don't talk to Hart. I'll be there in 15. He stormed back into the meeting. "Family emergency. Captain, take over. Get a marked unit to my sister's address. Code 2 possible child endangerment. I'm en route." Nathan's unmarked cruiser tore through Willow Grove, lights flashing. He radioed dispatch, escalating the call to aggravated assault and deprivation of medical equipment. At Maple Lane, he found Sarah cradling a sobbing Lily, and Eleanor bizarrely pruning her roses, as if she hadn't just traumatized a child. The teal walker dangled from the oak, a glaring accusation. A local patrol car pulled up, and Officer Daniels stepped out, wary. Nathan knelt by Lily, his voice soft. "Uncle Nathan's here, kiddo. You're safe now." Lily whimpered, pointing at the tree. "She took my rocket ship." Nathan's gaze flicked to Eleanor, who watched with a mix of curiosity and disdain, not yet realizing who he was. "Officer Daniels," Nathan said, his tone now steel. "I'm Assistant Commissioner Mitchell. Secure that walker as EVY Denke. Get statements from my sister and witnesses. I'll handle Mrs. Hart." He approached Eleanor, who shifted from smug to uneasy as his towering frame loomed. "Mrs. Hart, I'm Assistant State Police Commissioner Nathan Mitchell. We need to talk about why my niece's walker is in a tree." Eleanor paled, stammering, "Commissioner? There's a misunderstanding. She was going to ruin my camellias. I just moved her equipment." Nathan's voice was a blade. "Moved it? You tore it from a disabled 5-year-old, caused her to fall, and hung it out of reach, taunting her to climb. That assault, reckless endangerment, and a disability rights violation." Eleanor's composure cracked. She was unsuper VY said, "That walker's an eyesore, always in the wrong place. I was enforcing HOA rules." Nathan's eyebrow arched. "Rules that justify assaulting a child and stealing her medical device? State law disagrees." He turned. "Officer Daniels, arrest Mrs. Hart for assault, reckless endangerment, and larceny." Eleanor shrieked. "Arrest me? This is outrageous. I'm the HOA treasurer. I have connections." Nathan's smile was ice. "Your connections won't help. And your treasurer role? We'll look into that too." As Daniels cuffed her, neighbors emerged, some gleeful, others shocked, watching the HOA tyrant led away in handcuffs, a moment of sweet justice. Lily's trauma lingered. She feared her own yard, had nightmares of Eleanor, and flinched at the sight of Eleanor's gray house. A child psychologist helped her cope, while the community rallied with cards, toys, and a fundraiser for her therapy. The walker, once returned, became a symbol of Lily's grit. But the story didn't end with Eleanor's arrest. Detectives dug into her HOA dealings, uncovering her fierce resistance to accessibility upgrades like ramps and paved paths that would have helped residents like Lily. Forensic accountants found a bombshell. Eleanor had forged HOA bylaws, tweaking legal clauses to dodge ADA rules, VYing money to keep dues low and her reputation golden. She'd also funneled shady contracts to a cousin's company. New charges piled on: felony forgery, wire fraud, mail fraud, federal crimes with heavy penalties. At trial, Lily's tearful testimony of VY Deo broke hearts. Sarah's outrage resonated, and experts laid bare Eleanor's fraud. Disabled residents shared how her actions limited their lives. The jury took a day to deliver a resounding guilty verdict on all counts. The judge's sentencing was brutal. 10 years in prison, 7 minimum, plus massive restitution for the HOA and Lily's care. Eleanor's home and assets faced forfeiture. Her empire of control was dust. Willow Grove transformed. A new HOA board brought transparency and funded the delayed accessibility projects. The park became a haven for all, with ramps and adaptive swings. Lily, with therapy and love, began to heal, her new walker sparkling brighter. She avoided the oak but found joy in the park, her art therapy bursting with hopeful dolphins and stars. Nathan returned to work, his faith in justice deepened. Eleanor's fall was a warning. No one's above the law, especially when they prey on the vulnerable. Lily's walker, with its dolphin stickers, shone as a beacon of resilience, a community reborn and justice won. But what do you think? Was Eleanor's punishment fair, or too harsh for a moment of spite? Should HOAs have the power to enforce such rigid rules, or are they breeding grounds for petty tyrants? Could Lily's trauma have been avoided if the community had stood up to Eleanor sooner? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that spark debate.